In this video, we will run through the different options available to configure your primary and secondary routes and send your evacuation paths to your desired target. Once you have drawn in your navigation mesh and placed your targets where you want to direct your paths to, you can then configure the routes per sign by first selecting an evacuation sign icon and then using the options available in the inspector panel. There are two dedicated settings you can configure depending on how you want to control the routes. If you have the evacuation targets option in automatic, then by default Plan Studio will always direct the primary evacuation path to the closest available target, while respecting the evacuation path rules. You can then change the secondaries option to tell Plan Studio how you want your secondary paths to work. If you don't need to show alternate routes, you can leave this set to hide all. This will result in only the closest target being used as the primary path and all other targets being disabled. If you set this to hide nearby, then this will keep the primary path, but will also enable all the main alternate secondary routes at each end of the building, ignoring cases where there may be multiple exits close together. Setting this to show all will then enable every possible target as a secondary route. With either of these secondary options turned on, you can then manually disable any alternate routes by using the Evacuation Path Mode tool to preview the routes and then deselect targets individually or in bulk by clicking on the sign. If you need to manually edit the routes further, you can then change the Evacuation Targets option from automatic to manual. This will disable Plan Studio's default primary and secondary paths and allow you to manually set all targets as either primary, secondary, or off. Using this option, you have full custom control over your routes, allowing you to choose to have multiple primaries, a primary that is not the closest target, or have no primaries at all and display every path as a secondary. These options will, however, only change the route for individual diagrams. If you need to make alterations to your routes for PlanSafe or an interactive floor plan, you will want to use the path rules outlined in the navigation tool.